All right, we are ready to roll. Good morning, everybody. Today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable is about to begin. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, perhaps you haven't yet experienced one of these roundtables. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond. So it's a very, very big agenda that we are working with. We hope to accomplish this by 2020. And we pretty much have these public roundtables, the format that you're going to see today, every week, with a few exceptions during the year, maybe a few times that I'm traveling, that I'm not in a position to be able to host one of these roundtables. We are pretty much here religiously every week. So definitely get used to the format, see how you can leverage this platform and start using the resource for yourself as well as for other people, your peers, your fellow entrepreneurs, your friends, your colleagues. Please feel free to use this forum. This roundtable is being recorded, and it will be made available after the show for sharing with other people as well as using it for your own reference material. Now, I want to start today's conversation with a discussion on an announcement we made last week. As you know, some of you perhaps know that we just announced the 1 million by 1 million affiliate program, and we've been hearing from lots of different, publications, online publications, various different sites that cater to the entrepreneurship audience who are either have become our affiliates or in the process of becoming our affiliates, or at least considering becoming our affiliates. Now, I want to put a question to you guys and ask for your input. I am toying a lot with the notion of affiliates as a good channel for marketing online products and services. And we have a number of 1 million by 1 million companies who are also, exploring affiliate business models or affiliate go-to-market strategies and so on and so forth. I want to ask you one, strategy question, and you don't have to answer me right now. I want you to think about it. And at the end of the show, after I've finished working with the presenters, we're going to have a discussion on this topic. We're going to have a strategy discussion on this topic that I will facilitate. And the question is as follows. We have all these companies out there on the internet today who have amassed humongous amounts of traffic. So you look at Twitter, you look at LinkedIn, you look at Facebook, you look at all these other professional networks like Viadio, Xing, Sonico in Latin America. There's, Renren in China. There's all sorts of social networks, professional networks. There are some very major blogs like TechCrunch and Gigaom, ReadWriteWeb, VentureBeat, Huffington Post, so on and so forth. By and large, a lot of these sites are using display advertising as their primary monetization models, and in some cases they have some freemium models which is subscription based and so on and so forth. Why aren't they using affiliate programs more effectively and more aggressively? In my opinion, many of these sites would make a lot more money if they joined certain affiliate programs or they started affiliate marketing as one of their monetization models. But I'm not seeing enough of that happening out there right now. So it's a question that I'm going to start blogging about and putting out there in the blogosphere for people to reflect upon. So I'm giving you a sneak preview into this question, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe brainstorm about this subject a bit later on in the show. Okay, so think about that question while we start working with the entrepreneurs. One last comment, the India Startup Grant announced by Microsoft is that application process is closing on May 31st. As you know, we are partnering with Microsoft on the BizSparks India Startup Grant, and there are two first prizes, one in the category of mobile, another in the category of cloud, of $40,000 each. And then the second prizes are $10,000 each. Remember, this is a grant. It's not debt. It's not equity. It's a grant. It's a very, very attractive model. And I am encouraging as many of the 1 million by 1 million entrepreneurs to apply as possible. And if you haven't worked with me yet on your application, you have a little bit more time, but not that much more time to get your applications going. So next week, I expect that we are going to be working actually with the grant program finalists, not applicants, because the application would have closed. But by then we should have the finalists nominated, and we hope to have some of them here for strategy discussions as well. And I hope some of you are going to be on that show, because that is going to be a great, place for you to prepare further for winning this grant. All right. So if you are tweeting this show, which many of you often are, and we very much encourage you to do that, please use the hashtag 1M1M. And by the way, what I understand from the tweeting population or the Twitter audience is they're actually more interested in hearing about what is being discussed in the show. So if you're tweeting, try to tweet about what is being discussed in the show, maybe nuggets that you're learning from the discussions, maybe interesting ideas that are coming up in the show and so forth, and use the hashtag 1M1M. And for those who are tweeting the show, please try to get the rest of the audience and other 1 million by 1 million ambassadors perhaps to retweet your tweets, so that you can get more visibility for your thoughts and your inputs to the Twitter audience. Twitter is a lot of fun. You basically, these live shows, when you tweet them, you meet lots of people, you connect with lots of different people. So I want you to have fun and engage with that process as well. Okay, Deborah, if you could unmute your line and come and tell us what solsastake, is that how you pronounce it? It's very difficult to pronounce. So one of the first comments I have is you should change the name, because a name that is that difficult to pronounce makes for a very bad name for a company.
Duly noted. Thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine. Please tell us what you've got.
Okay. Well, my name is Deborah Walliser, and I am the founder and executive director of Solsastake, Inc. And it is a mouthful, but people mispronounce my name as well. That's fitting. I founded this company in 2008, and it's a hydroponics design and servicing company. And this company started after I created a patent for a growing system, hydroponic growing system that works all over the world. There's one system that's actually on the South Pole, and the original technology came from when I was working at Kennedy Space Center. A lot of it was the same technology that went into hydroponic systems for shuttle missions.
Do you have it issued already?
I'm sorry?
Is the patent already issued?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a provisional patent.
It's a provisional patent, not issued patent.
At this point, it's a provisional patent, correct, in the U.S. And okay. I want to expand that to be a little bit more secure.
Okay.
And the demand for my system was so great. I published in a couple of magazines and different things. We can go back a slide. That people started calling from all over the world saying, I want your system, how do I get it, and how do I build it, how do I run it? And so that got me to the point of how do I explain how to work this thing to people, and it was very difficult. So in 2010, I started Got Produce franchising, and that's a little bit easier name, Got Produce, people understand. And all the product that we were selling was marketed under Got Produce. And so after a couple of years working with the system, I decided the best way to do it was to connect it all to technology. I think agriculture is the one industry that has been left behind, so to speak, in the technology realm. So we hooked everything to basically what we call the smart technology, which means that you can run it from your BlackBerry or smartphone or anything like that. It'll tell you the temperature's too hot. It'll tell you the temperature's too cold. We have a way to see if production is going to be lower or higher, this or that. And so then it became very easy. I mean, if you can play Farmville or something like that on Facebook, then you would be able to run a commercial greenhouse. Everything was written basically to a second grade level. And the way we put the package out was a franchise package. And the franchise package offered a little bit more IP protection. It offered us a little bit better legal stance. And, if we were to sell it all over the world, we didn't want all the technology going everywhere. So the franchise package offered us a little bit more security. And the technology we're still working with, but it was written basically to make it a very simple, very mobile, very scalable program and system. And we feel like this is a disruptive technology in the ag industry. I mean, no more do you have to go out to the farm and grow stuff. You can have a 100,000 square foot facility in an urban or metro area and grow enough food that would serve a 300,000 population area. So it kind of reverses how we grow, where we grow, what we grow, and you can grow all year and you can grow anywhere in the world. This product works especially well in hot, arid climates. It works really well in places that have salty or bad water. But again, it works on the South Pole, so it can go pretty much anywhere. And
so
you don't need the soil.
Who is your target customer?
Well, in the beginning, in 2008, I thought the target customer was going to be farmers, but that has proved to not be true. Our target customer right now is kind of twofold. We are targeting distribution areas, basically chain, commercial, retailers.
Do you have any customer? Do you have any customer?
We have retail customers. In the U.S., we have customers in 3 states, and that's just because that's where we're located, in California, Nevada, and Arizona. And those consist of like Whole Foods, grocery store chains, restaurants. And
what is the usage model for those customers that you have? What is the usage model? How are they using your technology?
Well, we're using those customers right now as kind of a consumer pull through the market. And because there's so much demand by these consumers for our product, it's making the Whole Foods and P.F. Chang's, all these other commercial institutions, it makes them want to put a greenhouse by each of their distribution centers. And
I don't understand head or tail of what you're saying. You're not answering my question. Who is the customer? What is the usage model of the customer? What is your value proposition to that customer? What problem are you solving? Right now, the state in which you are pitching this presentation, no investor will even look at it. So you've got to work with me. If you want me to help you, you've got to work with me and try to pinpoint what is the customer segment that you're going after, what is the pain that you're trying to solve for that particular customer segment.
Our target customer is chain retailers.
Chain retailers don't do their growing, right? Do they?
Well, that is changing. That is where all the interest is right now, because they're having problems providing product to their end consumer. Is what we're seeing.
So what are you hearing? Give me an example of a chain retailer who wants to buy your product, sorry about that, who wants to buy your product for growing produce.
The people we're talking to are P.F. Chang's, Whole Foods, LA Specialty Produce, grocery store chains, anybody fresh and easy. We haven't approached Walmart yet, but anybody who has to get their produce from a distribution center is interested in putting a greenhouse basically, with their distribution center. And so it reverses how they get product and how they're able to distribute it to their customers.
Okay. And do you know what kind of produce they're wanting to grow using your technology, putting a greenhouse next to the distribution center?
It would be produce for the fresh market. So we're talking about leafy greens, lettuce, basil, and we're talking about cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes, all the things that kind of delight the senses when a consumer walks in a grocery store. And all the things that are very perishable. There's been a lot of hard-hit areas in the ag industry, and the grocery stores don't like it if they don't have tomatoes or they don't have peppers or anything like that. The other thing, too, is that the whole facility is a net zero carbon footprint growing facility. So you can grow all this with a net zero carbon footprint. And I thought that
No, hold on. Please don't deviate from. I want to keep the conversation on your. Just follow. Let me drive this conversation and answer my questions for a moment. Just stay with it. So the grocery stores are interested in this technology to put greenhouses next to the distribution centers.
Correct.
So what are they willing to, what was the business model that you're discussing with these grocery stores? Are you going to license your technology to them and they will build their greenhouses? Is that the is this the business model?
Right, they would be purchased franchise, and the technology is exclusively licensed to the franchise company. So yes, they would be.
But that's not the correct terminology, right? How can Whole Food be a franchisee of this product? Franchisee is somebody who sells the product. You are talking about Whole Food being your customer, not a franchisee. Whole Foods is going to be a customer of yours. Is that correct?
Whole Foods would be Whole Foods, but the technology package is in a franchise format.
I don't understand why.
Because all the growing technology has to be, it would be like buying a McDonald's in a box, and you get the McDonald's and you open it up and you put it in with your Walmart. It's kind of the same thing. Or you put a Starbucks in a grocery store. You would be putting
but the point is they are using it for their own good, or they're using it for their own stores. They're not resell. Franchisees typically resell because McDonald's is not the consumer of the McDonald's franchise. McDonald's sells to consumers.
Right, but if you can imagine that relationship, that is kind of the same relationship.
It is not the same relationship at all. I think you have the business model of it completely screwed up, actually. This is a technology licensing business. It should be a technology licensing business model for which you need no financing whatsoever. You should be working with Whole Foods and license the technology to Whole Foods. Whole Foods is going to pay you. You don't have any investment in this process. Whole Foods is going to put in the investment. What you're going to need to figure out is what is the right pricing model in which you work with a Whole Foods or a Walmart or a Safeway or whoever.
Okay, but the problem therein for us lies that we can't just sell them a greenhouse or license the technology because it's the programming and all that stuff has to continue. So there has to be a continued service with the sale.
Yeah, so that's a service that they pay for and you provide. That service is not going to come for free.
Right, and so that's almost the definition of a franchise.
It is not. You should study what a franchise is. I don't think you'd understand what a franchise business model is. You're trying to call your business model a franchise when it completely does not fit the franchise business model.
Okay,
so I cannot give you a course on what franchises do right now, but I strongly encourage you to go understand what the franchise business model is, and this is not a franchise business model. What you're talking about is a technology licensing and services business model. It is not a franchise business model. This is not, I'm telling you, this is not a franchise business model. And if you try to call it a franchise business model, you're going to fail. That's like trying to stick a round peg in or a square peg in a round hole.
Well, on my last slide, I did ask you for your gut reaction. So the gut reaction would be no franchise. Am I hearing that correct?
Yes, and in fact, what I like right now, we have a very nice situation. If you indeed have brought Whole Foods and companies like Whole Foods, Safeway, and so forth to the table where they are engaging with you and they're telling you that they're interested in your technology, this is very good news. But don't lose out on that opportunity by trying to put some weird business model that does not fit into that discussion. This is a technology licensing and services business. That is the business you're going to be building. And you do have, so listen, let me finish and then you can ask your questions. This is a technology licensing and services business, and you are going to basically you're going to use customer funding to build this business. You don't need investor funding.
Okay.
And it's not exactly the kind of businesses that investor typically invests in either. So I would first and foremost think of your customers as investors. First and foremost, I would go figure out exactly in what mode is take one of them, take Whole Foods and close one deal and figure out by working with Whole Foods, how much are they willing to pay to license this technology and what is involved, how much are they willing to pay as the technology license, how much are they willing to pay you for the services that are required to keep this greenhouse up and running, and so on and so forth. And you'll just work with that. Just work with Whole Foods and a set of customers who can give you that feedback. So if you can do that homework and come back and talk to me with that feedback, I can give you more guidance.
Okay, well that's a good starting place. And because the other thing I hear from them is that they want to buy it, but they don't want to run it. So that was another.
That's fine. If they don't want to run it, that's fine. But ask them how much are they willing to pay to license the technology and how much are they willing to pay you to run it on their behalf. Those are two critical questions that we need answered. And by the way, they're going to probably turn around and ask you to give them a proposal. You need to figure out a pricing model, a business model and a pricing model to support this so that you can run this profitably and sustainably. Don't worry about scalability right now. Figure out what is the business model that will allow you to run this profitably and scalably. Profitably and sustainably. Don't worry about scalability. This is a pilot. Think of these initial relationships as pilots to really understand the ins and outs of how to bring this product to market, working with.
I'll be right back. I'll have more minutes. I'm sorry.
Somebody is interfering with the conference call. Please go on mute. *6.
*6.
Is that clear, Deborah?
This is Adam.
Thank you. That is a good starting place to go back to.
Okay. All right. So next presenter is Priyanka. Everybody else on the call, please go on *6. Go on mute. Priyanka, unmute your line and come and tell us what you've got.
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Priyanka.
Hello, everyone. My name is Priyanka Bhatnagar. I'm from
Speak up.
jewelry making.
Keep going.
I'm into jewelry making, and I'm ready to launch my own jewelry collection, jewelry and accessories. It's basically easy to understand. It's an online store, and a purchase of handmade Indian jewelry and accessories. Keeping in mind the scope of e-commerce, I have taken this interest. Like, I would like to launch my online store, and I'm giving importance to quality of product also the website design and packaging mainly, because I think for branding it in future, I think people trust a good packaging and also website design. I'm particular about my website because particularly like I don't want it to be a mess of links with lots of advertisements and everything. I just want to keep it simple and effective. Packaging will have packaging of my products. Like I'll be packaging it in a color, black color paper bag, which will have my catalog, a little about me, about the jewelry collection, a thank you card, thank you for purchase card, and a gift card. Um, a small leaflet, maybe the type of jewelry on what my consumers, the clients purchase. And like example, if I'm into ethnic jewelry collection, so if it will have a small leaflet into the packaging about its ethnic Indian jewelry. Um, the main questions, like I'm worried if I need to, because the launch is nearby. I'm launching it on 17th June. I'm really worried if I have to register it. Just a small startup. So do I need to register? Maybe, there are many legal formalities. It's an online store, but then do we need to register for my like label, my own label, Priyanka Bhatnagar Jewelry and Accessories? And main question is like trademark or maybe anything. Do I need to register?
Well, even you need a corporate entity to work from, or you can just work from your own personal account and pay. It's all about taxes, right? If you want all the money to be coming to you and you want to pay personal income taxes, that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to incorporate an entity, a corporate legal entity, and pay taxes from the legal entity. Now, either of those is fine as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter right now. Frankly, it doesn't matter at all. If you're ready to launch and go test how it goes, all that is fine. Having said that, I think you really have no clue how to do an e-commerce startup. And you really need to understand how to bring an e-commerce product to market, a e-commerce business to market. And you need to understand who is the customer, what specific segment of the population is your customer, how are you going to market and recruit those customers. I mean, there's a variety of business building issues that you need to worry about a lot more than a legal registration process. And your idea of working on branding a startup is a very naive question, because that is not the way to look at an e-commerce business. You need to figure out how to bring yes, branding is part of it, but you're going to have to position the company. What price point are we talking about? What is the customer segment of the jewelry market are we talking about? Are we talking about selling to the Indian customer base or foreign customer base? If so, where? What age group? I mean, there's a variety of questions that you need to answer, none of which I see you having given any thought to. I like the fact that you want to do a clean design and you want to do nice packaging and all that. I think to do a good lifestyle business, whether it's jewelry or fashion or home furnishings, anything that is design oriented, doing a nice website, a clean, good design, both on the website as well as packaging and the design of the products itself, merchandising, all these are very important. But there's a whole lot of stuff that you need to do well before that. And I'm going to talk more about the resources that we offer in terms of learning how to build businesses in the 1 million by 1 million premium program. I cannot give you in 3 minutes a lecture on how to build an e-commerce business. You're going to have to use our 1 million by 1 million premium curriculum to learn that. And we do have an extensive training material on that. So hold on for a few minutes. I'll discuss that a little bit later in the show. Let me go to the next presenter in the meantime. Okay, Priyanka?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Adam, could you please unmute your line and come and tell us what you're doing?
Hello. My name is Adam Lee. I am living right now in San Francisco, and I have a company called Snowboard Tahoe. We're releasing snowboard mobile apps, kiteboard mobile apps, surf mobile apps.
Okay.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Snowboard mobile app.
Exactly. Our first snowboard mobile app is it's called the Bluebird Wax app, and we're working with probably 25 top snowboarders in the world. We've been filming the last couple of years, and the first release we want to do is called the Bluebird Wax app, teaching you how to wax your snowboard.
Okay.
And we're basically ready to start making it into an app. We've been shopping around for app development teams, talked to really great ones, pretty much narrowed it down to one development team. Got the film, got the development team together, and now I'm trying to raise money, essentially. The product is essentially going to help you learn to wax your snowboard, which is ironing the wax, spreading it onto the board, and essentially scraping it off. We have the top 3 snowboarders in the world teaching you that. His name is Travis Rice. He's got a large following. We're looking to make it and package it and release it publicly around October. And we are looking to pre-sell sales between then and now. Before we publicly release it, we're looking to sell 10 to 20,000 units to different sponsors that the snowboards for.
So what is going to be the pricing model for this app?
Essentially, I think it's going to be a free app, and then you can buy the 99-cent version. The 99-cent version is going to have right now from the start around 3 to 5 tricks. We haven't really completely compiled all the trick tips. So essentially, the free one's going to be access to learn most of the techniques to waxing your board without the tricks and tips section. Also, we're going to be adding on to the sections as the app goes on. So hopefully, in about 6 months to a year, we will have about 10 tricks and tips. And in about a year, we should have about 15. 2 years, we should have about 20 to 25. And there's about 25 team riders on the wax team. And,
so how many people are likely to buy? How many people are likely to buy these apps?
Well, for example, the snowboard dude that we're working with, Travis Rice, he has a new film coming out, and it was released. The trailer was released about 3 months ago, and he was just under 3 million downloads. So he's pretty popular dude. I'm looking at my projections are more in the I think 500,000 the first year, or 500,000 at least free downloads the first year. I think we'll have around 100 to 200,000 paid for apps, and I'm hoping that before we even publicly release it, I would like to sell 20 to 100,000 pre-sold apps to sponsors. For example, he rides for a company called LibTech Snowboards. They make, I think, just over 100,000 boards are just custom made for him, and I would like to sell essentially stickers that give you a download pass. So hopefully we can sell about 10,000 to 20,000 units minimum to them. So when you buy a snowboard, you get a free download to learn how to wax your snowboard.
So, Adam, I see a lot of unrealistic numbers in your assumptions. Like if you have 500,000 free users, it is impossible to get 100 to 200,000 paid users out of that. The freemium conversion rates are in the top range of the conversion rates in freemium are 4% roughly, 4 or 5%.
4 or 5%. Okay.
Yeah. So you can get 500,000 users. We're talking about 4 or 5% of the 5% of that as a realistic number in terms of conversion rates to premium paid.
Okay. I think that's a pretty low rate for me for like my estimates.
It is not a question of your estimates. These are the numbers in terms of the industry. There's the freemium, as we the freemium business model is a well-tested and business model, and 4 to 5% is the average people see in free to paid, and getting free users to convert into paid users is an excruciatingly difficult task.
Definitely. I see that. What other, like, when I put these estimates out, it's pretty low. Like, I realistically think we'll have a couple million free downloads, and I feel like we should have about 500,000 paid for, roughly, in the first year we're out.
I mean, I'm just going by the numbers you're offering me, because I have not studied the snowboarding market. I don't know the size of the snowboarding market, but my advice to you is to be very realistic about market sizing. How many how many people actually buy snowboards is one question I'd like to know. How many people are handy enough to wax their own snowboards? Just because they do buy snowboards doesn't mean that they will wax their own snowboards.
Very true, very true. I'm looking at, like I said, in the slides, there's about 1,500 locations internationally that are carrying the wax that we sell.
Yeah.
We'd like to put stickers. We'd like to put stickers on those wax. That went like 1,500 locations internationally. And then there's like about 600,000 boards that are made from different riders on the company. So we'd like to pre-sell. Have you heard of pre-selling apps to different in groups of 10 or 20,000 units? Is that something that you've heard of in the app world?
No, I don't know. No. If you're trying to get consumers to pay for the app, you're going to have to get the consumers to pay for the app. If you want the wax sellers to pay for the apps, that's actually not a bad strategy. If you want the wax sellers to kind of what we call OEM, right? To license your technology and then sell it with their product, that I like that strategy actually a lot more, so that they distribute the apps for free with their wax products. That I think is a much better strategy than trying to get consumers to buy your app for 99 cents per pop.
Exactly. And what I was thinking, there's the wax product, but then there's also the snowboard. So like I said, the signature rider we have teaching the waxing has around a little over 100,000 boards made. They're just signature to him. So our goal is to have the app developed and for us to approach the snowboard company. Essentially, if everything is well.
Adam, here's my overriding guidance for your business. If you can turn this business from you were originally thinking about making this a business to consumer business. If you can forget that and turn this into a business to business business,
yep,
where you sell volume to the wax makers and the wax sellers and the snowboard makers who may want to package these apps with their products, I think that's a far better strategy. And you should go talk to those vendors and figure out what they're willing to pay, how they're willing to, buy your product and package it with their products and so forth. I think that's a much, much better strategy, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has been my strategy. I wanted to make it and then pre-sell the units to his snowboard company, his boot company, and his outerwear company. And then the wax company is kind of a partner. So I kind of want to possibly sell them the units as well. But the real, I think the big guys in the table are snowboard company, the boot company, and the jack company. So, okay. But what I was trying to understand, you've seen like package sales of codes, like where you can like buy 10,000 units and they each have a code. Is that something that you've seen, or?
Yeah, I mean, marketing through other people's channels is something that we recommend a lot in the 1 million by 1 million methodology. So that's exactly what we are talking about, right? You're basically, this business model of kind of going to market through other people, other businesses, is very viable. You have to work out the mechanics of how to do that, and that is very doable. It's been done many times before. That's what I would suggest, that you spend your time and energy investigating the mechanics of and the details of how to do that. So you have to put together all the licensing and everything around that, but that's where I think it's worth investing time and energy.
Okay, then suggestions for like raising this money to get the first product out there, so we can actually market it and sell it to these companies, essentially.
My assessment is that this is a very small niche business. It is not the kind of business that professional investors invest in. So if you need money to build this business, you're going to have to raise that money from either friends and family, or potentially one of these customers that you're going to be working with, somebody who's one of these board vendors or wax vendors who may be willing to give you an advance or something. If you can get, instead of trying to sell equity, first and foremost, 20% equity, selling 20% equity for $50,000 is a lousy deal. It is a horrible, horrible deal.
Interesting. Because I sold 17% at $25,000 just last year, but way before I had some of these partners, and I feel like it came a long way. But I see where you're coming from. It is not the best deal.
No, it is a terrible deal for you. I think it's a great deal for investors. I think it's a terrible deal for you as an entrepreneur.
Oh, really?
20% equity for $50,000, and if you've sold 17% equity for $25,000, you've been doing lousy deals. You've been doing absolutely lousy financing deals.
Okay.
And you are basically being taken advantage of big time because you don't know how to negotiate, you don't know fundraising.
Okay. So what would be a better method to raise that $50,000? Basically, I'm looking to get $50,000 just essentially to get these apps. The first app's going to cost roughly $20,000 to $30,000, and I have to pay a couple more, for essentially editing and some of the development aspects of the teaching and.
I would go talk to the kinds of partners that you're talking about. Who actually, those are going to be your customers, not partners. These the wax vendors or the board vendors, and try to get the money as advance on orders.
Okay, and then you've seen like orders of like 10,000 for through the iTunes store, where you can just buy like a 10,000 units at once, or 20,000 units. Have you seen that done? I've talked to different app development.
It all depends on how much your partner wants this product. If they really want the product, they may be willing to, and how convincing you are in selling that value proposition, and what, how is it going to help them? If they think that this is going to help them dramatically, sell their products better or market their products better or bring, serve their customers better, they will pay. If they don't think that's the case, then they're not going to pay, in which case you're going to have to raise $50,000 from friends and family. But I mean, $50,000 at 20% equity. I mean, these are absolutely usurious deals.
So, what do you think? Do you think I should 10% is my max for that 20 for 50,000?
No, as far as I'm concerned, I do not like people raising money, any equity money, at under $2 million pre-money valuation. Now, this is again a very long lecture on financing. I cannot give you this lecture in 2 minutes. I would recommend that if you want to learn about this style of business, you go become a member of the 1 million by 1 million premium program, which I'm going to talk about slightly later in the show. So just hang on.
Okay.
When I get to that section, I will point you to that part of the resource pool. So just so hang on for the moment. Let's move on in the show, but hang on for a moment and listen to that portion.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. All right, so we have a Facebook poll, folks, on our 1 million by 1 million Facebook page. You've listened to 3 businesses. Please go and vote on the poll for which of these is your favorite business, and then we'll announce the results on the blog in the next couple of days. And by the way, presenters, you are very welcome to get your friends and colleagues and peers to come and vote in the poll so that you have a better chance at winning. We have often entrepreneurs kind of rallying their support network to come and help them win this poll. So you're very welcome to do that. I'm going to talk to you about the 1 million by 1 million resources, and I've told at least Priyanka and Adam about resources that they need to refer to because I can't really bring them up to speed on topics like positioning and financing in like 3 minutes. So here's a quick overview of all the things that you can access through the 1 million by 1 million program, and I strongly encourage you to access as many of them as possible. So just to recap, 1 million by 1 million is a program. It's a global initiative. It's a business, but it's a global initiative to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond by 2020. And we do that by a virtual incubation, education, business development, investor relations, analyst relations, media relations, and PR program. So we introduce you to customers, investors, channel partners, all sorts of people, as well as through our curriculum, we help you learn how to become a more sophisticated entrepreneur. And the stress is on sophisticated. We don't want you to go out and do deals like giving up 17% of your company for $25,000. That is really screwing yourselves, and we don't want you to act naive like that. So as a very base level resource, this is pretty much the absolute base level cheapest set of resources we bring to the table is the blog. Sramanamitra.com is a completely free resource. If you want to understand e-commerce businesses, social and mobile application businesses, and a variety of technology-enabled services, internet, mobile businesses, outsourcing businesses, this is a great platform for you to start studying. If you follow the blog regularly, you learn a lot through the case studies that we publish. And the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, of which there are 4 volumes, are also a good set of synthesized resources as a base level, as an entry level resource. Let me tell you a bit more about the book series. There are 4 books in the Entrepreneur Journeys series. The first volume, Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 1, is a set of 12 case studies that focus on the philosophy of how to craft a business block by block, and you hear from a variety of very successful entrepreneurs on how they have built their businesses and the strategies and nuances of building their businesses with my analysis and synthesis. In Volume 2, Volume 2 is called Bootstrapping Weapon of Mass Reconstruction. This book focuses on the notion of bootstrapping and how to maximize your bang for the buck in the early stage of the business, and why bootstrapping is important, how to bootstrap, and bootstrapping is a very core philosophy of 1 million by 1 million as an entrepreneurship methodology. Entrepreneur Journeys Volume 3 focuses on positioning. So if you do not have background in positioning, this is another topic that you really need to master to be a sophisticated entrepreneur. The book is called Positioning: How to Test, Validate, and Bring Your Idea to Market. And then the 4th volume is Innovation Need of the Hour, which talks about the challenges that innovators face and how to circumvent those challenges, navigate those challenges, and so on and so forth, including financing challenges, go-to-market challenges, and so on and so forth. All the books are available on Amazon and Kindle, and that is internationally. Anybody, and Amazon ships anywhere, and today Kindle is also available in many different parts of the world. Kindle applications are available on the iPhone and various other mobile devices. And in India, you can also order the books through Flipkart, which is an e-commerce bookstore, electronic bookstore, and Flipkart works with actually Amazon to source the books for you, so you can pay in Indian currency. I've already told you about the blog that's entirely free. And then every Thursday, like today, we have these free 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtables. We've done, over 80 roundtables, over 5,000 people have attended. I've personally coached over 300 entrepreneurs. It's a long-running, long-standing program, very well known at this point, and a lot of people are using this forum to get, strategy consulting, roughly speaking, from me. And I have a lot of experience in doing this. So which is why I can very quickly zero in on what are your challenges, what are you likely to face as your challenges, and guide you in the right direction. Now, on top of that, we have the 1 million by 1 million premium program. Now, this is to cater to exactly the kinds of situations we dealt with today. We have a situation where we have Adam, who's an entrepreneur who doesn't have a lot of experience or understanding of the fundraising process. So we need to very rapidly, very efficiently equip Adam with how to raise money, with knowledge and guidance on how to raise money. And the best way to do that is for Adam to join the premium program, where we have an extensive curriculum with video lectures and case studies on fundraising. Financing is something we teach. Adam should also learn through the curriculum the bootstrapping part of the program. These are things that are going to help Adam become a more sophisticated entrepreneur and not fall into traps like selling 17% equity for $25,000. Similarly, Priyanka needs to learn about positioning. She needs to probably learn about bootstrapping and financing as well, but she definitely needs to learn about positioning. And Adam needs to learn about positioning as well. And again, we have curriculum modules on positioning, on customer validation, on customer acquisition, all these pieces that you need to understand as an entrepreneur to become a sophisticated entrepreneur and kind of leapfrog the gaps in your learning by using this curriculum. And you don't have time to go to business school. But this is kind of an online business school specifically focused on very early stage entrepreneurship to groom entrepreneurs like you to become a sophisticated entrepreneur. So please join the program, use the curriculum, and deal with these issues right now. I don't want you to make these kinds of mistakes. In addition, in the program, we also do extensive business development. We have people who are being connected into multi-million-dollar deals with Fortune 500 companies right now through the program, through introductions to customers, to channel partners, and so on and so forth. And we have similar strategy consulting as we are talking about here in a private mode as part of the premium program as well. And on top of that, we also help you with financing. We also help you get a lot of PR. We have very strong inroads into the PR and analyst market. And I have a lot of platforms, a lot of columns, and so on and so forth, through which we can give you a lot of PR. So it's a comprehensive program. It's like a club membership. It's $1,000 annual membership fee for unlimited usage of this program. And you get a peer group, you get a support network, you get, and you get extensive content and methodology. So please use the program. It's not that expensive. It will help you avoid so many silly mistakes. It's really worth it. And we have lots of customers, lots of entrepreneurs who are using this program today with great benefit. And the website is 1m1m.sramanamitra.com. Please go there. There's lots of resources, lots of information. You would be able to, I think, really benefit from the program and avoid the kinds of mistakes that I saw today, which actually scares me deeply on your account. So this is just the page, the 1 million by 1 million homepage, and you'll find lots more information about the curriculum, about the free public roundtables, about the private roundtables, about what to expect from the premium program. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. We don't encourage you to go raise gobs of money, and most entrepreneurs who try to do that actually fail. So we don't want you to fail. We try to make sure that you succeed as an entrepreneur, and we teach you as much as possible to avoid those mistakes. Now, what you'll find in the curriculum is a core curriculum and then an elective set of modules. The core curriculum, I suggest that you study in as much detail as possible. It will take you probably about 50, 60 hours to fully digest the core curriculum. And it has 7 sections: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. And then on the electives, you will find specific modules that deal with your type of businesses. So Web 3.0 and e-commerce is a style of business that we see a lot of. So Priyanka, if you're trying to learn how to build an e-commerce business, I suggest you go study Web 3.0 and e-commerce in absolute gory detail and get on top of how to build these businesses. And we have extensive video lectures synthesizing methodology topics as well as supporting case studies. I have actually brought almost 400 entrepreneurs and thought leaders to the 1 Million by 1 Million program to teach you what they know and what they have learned through their experiences. There's no other curriculum like this, where you get the perspectives and insights of so many entrepreneurs within a concise, forum. So that's what 1 Million by 1 Million is. We also have elective modules on cloud computing, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, gaming, and so forth. So please use all these resources and get up to speed. Get up to speed so that you don't make silly mistakes. I talked to you a little bit about the kinds of deals we are doing, where we are introducing our entrepreneurs into channel partners. This particular slide on your screen is a relationship we have with Persistent Systems that has a large channel to sell into US customers and to some extent globally, that some of our customers, some of our 1 Million by 1 Million entrepreneurs are using to go to market with for large accounts. We also featured one of our companies in my syndicated column that goes to many different publications, including Read Write Web. And this is a company called Orangescape that we positioned. Actually, I work with this company to position them as a company that fills a gap, plugs a gap in Google's enterprise solution. So these are very powerful, PR opportunities, and companies now talking to Google, talking to a variety of different large enterprise accounts, the largest you can imagine. So it's a very, very powerful platform that Orangescape has got through 1 Million by 1 Million. So you'll see that this is a very useful program and a very practical, pragmatic program. We work with a lot of incubators at this point. This is an example of one of them. Mad Incubator in Malaysia is using the 1 Million by 1 Million methodology and program in a big way. So go to the website, sign up for the premium program, and use the resources. Just by spending $1,000 in annual membership fee, you get so much resources. It's really not worthwhile for you to not use the program when you have access to it and make these mistakes. Just not worthwhile. Now, as far as the free roundtables, we have a roundtable every Thursday in June. So we have 5 Thursdays in June, and every Thursday we are here. So if you need to come and talk to me, come and run your assumptions by or businesses by me, definitely use the these public roundtables. On top of that, we'll have private roundtables as well for the premium members. And the premium members, you'll get through the premium mailing list the dates for that. A final little discussion on my 5th book, which is Vision India 2020. For those of you who are interested in India or in emerging market business opportunities, please take a look at this book. It's a development economics book, but development economics from the perspective of entrepreneurship. So it has $45 billion business ideas, and it's set as in 2020, as if we are sitting in 2020, reflecting back on how these 45 companies have been built. So it's fiction. It is like science fiction. It's business fiction, and it's a futuristic retrospective. You're sitting in the future, reflecting on the present. So it's a very fun book. and it has business ideas spanning different sectors from technology, technology-enabled services, education, healthcare, entertainment, lifestyle businesses, infrastructure, all sorts of things. And the reason I say it's not only India, but also the emerging markets is that if you look at the ideas, a lot of them will apply to the other emerging markets like Africa, like East Asia, Latin America, a variety of different geographies as well. So the same business ideas could be applied, could be implemented in different geographies. So I'm going to very soon open up the group chat and take questions from the audience. So please feel free to start putting in your, your questions and ideas into the group chat. And I would also like to hear from you about the question that I posed in the beginning about what do you think about the affiliate business model as a good way for the large sites who have accumulated huge numbers of users but are having trouble monetizing those users at the same level. What do you think of the affiliate marketing model as one of the ways to monetize them? So let's have those discussions in the group chat. And while you're typing your comments or questions, let me also thank our various partners who make these roundtables possible. ReadWriteWeb is a great media partner for us. Microsoft BizSpark, we've been working with them on the India Startup Grant, and as you will hear a lot more about our partnership with Microsoft, we are actually expanding on that partnership with Microsoft. AMITA, the Association of MIT Alumni, and the MIT Club of Northern California, these are my alma mater organizations who have all been great partners. The Indian Angel Network, various chapters of TIE, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Chicago, Atlanta, Austin. There are many TIE chapters that are working with us. MAD Incubator in Malaysia, Persistent Systems, which is a large Indian company. Variety of different partners are working with us on these roundtables. So, and thank you, VView, which is our technology platform that I hope you're enjoying the VView platform here. They've been a great technology platform for us to use. They're a new technology like you. They're also a startup company, a Cupertino, Bangalore-based startup company, and we are very happy to work with them. And I think they are very happy to work with us. So thanks to all of you for helping us make these programming possible. That's pretty much it as far as the formal presentation. We go to the Q&A portion of the conversation here. I'm going to cut the slideshow. By the way, folks, if you're trying to blow up the group chat to participate more conveniently in this section of the presentation, you can click on slides and videos so that both of those disappear from your screen and just the group chat remains. And at that point, the group chat is going to fill up your screen, and you will be able to read the comments much more easily. Okay, let me read what you have here. Anup is saying, Sramana, I agree with you that affiliate programs can be a very effective marketing strategy for blogs and other social sites. I think it is not very easy to track the signups coming from a site. That is not true at all, Anup. There's a fantastic set of affiliate management software out there. The one we are using is iDev Affiliate. It has entire tracking facilities, reporting facilities. It has a console for all the affiliates as well as the administrators of the affiliates to review exactly what's happening, whose cookies are being tracked, who's earning how much money, whose payments have been made. Just look up iDev Affiliate. And it's got demos on exactly the software, how the software works. So this is old technology. It's not even new technology. It's been around, it's been tried and true, and it's not a problem at all. I don't understand. I frankly don't understand what you're talking about. Are you talking about affiliate program, or are you talking about 1 million by 1 million? Anup, I see people may not sign up immediately or with the link provided. It would be good to offer a special discount offer for the members of the specific site, which will help in identifying the traffic for that site. That creates huge amount of margin problems. We are already offering 1 million by 1 million at a rock bottom price. It's a very expensive service to deliver. we cannot offer further discounts. We already have to pay affiliate commissions and we have to service these clients. At $1,000 annual membership fee, we're already at absolutely the lowest price point in which this can be offered. So we do not have room to play around. So your pricing model suggestions, discount suggestions, none of which are viable. We've looked at all of those. Whatever is viable in terms of discounts, we are doing. In some cases, we are offering discounts. Okay, anybody else?
Hello?
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask a question privately with you. Could I speak with you privately anytime soon?
Go ahead. Ask the question right here.
Oh, it's I just wanted to reiterate that I'm still trying to raise money in any advice you could give, and that was my last company, 17%. And I agree with you, totally. It put me in a bad situation. That's why I did restructure and set up a new entity, because I agree with you. That was way too much of the company, but I'm really strapped, and I have to raise $50,000 in the next 30 days to make a lot of these things work that I need to work. Just any advice you could give would be greatly appreciated.
As far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to be able to explain to you all the nuances of this, but when you're raising small amounts of money at that early stage, it's better to raise it on a convertible note.
Okay, yeah. I have some convertible agreements I should pursue. And when on the convertible note, from what I understand, you offer a stock at a certain price, or is it within 1 year you offer the stock?
If you go study the premium curriculum, there's a full lecture on convertible note. Again, I cannot teach you about convertible notes right now, but if you go work with the premium program, the topic is covered in absolute gory detail.
Great, I appreciate it, Chandra.
You're welcome. Ken, you're asking how can you describe the various business models available? You're talking about the various business models available in business per se, or what's the question? Can you explain to me a bit more? So there is again a curriculum in the 1 million by 1 million premium curriculum. There's an extensive treatment of the topic. This is again another at least 30-minute lecture that I have to give you on business model. It's not reasonable for me to give you that lecture now, but there are, subscription business models, transaction business models, licensing business models. There's all sorts of business models, but I recommend that you go study the premium program. Anybody else? Question regarding iPhone apps. What are the minimum success factors associated with iPhone apps? How viral should the app be? Monthly users, daily users, etc. Well, it depends. Again, this is where the difference between companies that are self-financed and bootstrapped, profitable companies versus venture-funded or professional investor-funded companies come in. If you have a self-funded company and you're bringing in $200,000 a year, and you can do the math, whatever your price point is, how many monthly users, how many paid users do you need to make those numbers, even if you're making $100,000 and you're in a profitable situation, I would say that's a successful iPhone app. On the other hand, if you have investors involved, then investors need much, much larger amounts of revenue for it to be interesting for them. So the answer to this question is not an absolute question. Again, this is a topic as far as, in the bootstrapping and financing section and market sizing section, I've dealt with extensively in the curriculum. So if you're looking for nuances and details of how to evaluate these decisions, go study the curriculum. You will be able to answer those questions on your own. Anup is asking, what are some of your suggestions for moving from a job to an entrepreneur? How does one bootstrap during this transition? Can 1M program help during this phase? This is a question we get asked a lot. In fact, it's a question that is in our FAQ. If you go to the 1M site and look at the FAQ, you will see that this question is answered, but I'll answer it for you anyway. Basically, what I recommend is do not give up your job. Keep your job, but start studying the 1 million by 1 million program. Whatever ideas you have, maybe you're toying with 5 different ideas. Use the 1 million by 1 million program to develop and validate those ideas and figure out which one is your best idea, which one has legs, and use your paycheck to bootstrap that whole validation phase. And then jump off from the job. Once you have a more or less validated idea, your blueprint exactly of how you're going to go about building this business, that is the point at which you should get off the job. So as long as you have a job and you're just toying with the idea of becoming an entrepreneur, I would say every day save 2 hours to use the 1 million by 1 million program, to study the 1 million by 1 million curriculum and educate yourself. You do that for 30 days, 2 hours each for 30 days. In a month, you have covered the 1 million by 1 million curriculum. The next 30 days, you start applying that to your ideas, and maybe it will take you another 2 months, 3 months, 5 months to create your blueprint for the idea that you're actually going to go and execute. That is the point where you should quit your job. Until you've done that homework, I don't recommend you quit your job. Anybody else? Any other question? You're welcome, Anup. Any other question? So while you guys are pondering your questions, let me remind you, those entrepreneurs who are working in India, if you're either working in the cloud category or in the mobile category, do apply for the Microsoft Startup Challenge grant. And the applications are closed. Applications will be closed. The deadline is May 31st. So you have another 4 or 5 days to file. But it's a very nice chunk of money to get going with. So if you have something that you think might be worth filing for this grant, please do apply. And I have, I'm recommending some of the companies. So the ones I've seen that are worth recommending, I've already talked to the entrepreneurs in the 1 million by 1 million program, and I've already talked to Microsoft and let them know that these are some of the companies on my radar screen that I'm coaching in 1 million by 1 million that are companies to consider as finalists for the grant. So I have done my part on your behalf, but the companies that I have not seen, if you become a member of the premium program and get in touch with me, I'll try to work with you at the 11th hour, but you have left it very late. So if you want to do something, do it very quickly now. You have 5 days roughly. Anybody else? All right, then we're going to close the room for today, and we will see you same place, same time, June 2nd. And folks, okay, hang on 1 second. Adam has a question. And by the way, Ravi is asking you to vote on the 1M Facebook page for your favorite company today. Adam, what is your question for the Microsoft? That grant is only for companies in India, by the way, madam. So I suspect in Nevada, you would not qualify for that grant. All right, so if you don't have any other questions, then we'll close up the room, and I'll see you next week, same place, same time. And I'll see you all through June. Hopefully, many of you are going to come back and keep using the forum. And look forward to working with you further. Goodbye, everybody. Good luck.